We're seeing widespread efforts to make sure illegal immigrants are forced to leave the country, but is it going too far? This, as a celebration, is planned to celebrate all cultures in the cities. The Quad City Alliance for Immigrants and Refugees, known as QCAIR, is one of the leading advocates for immigrants and refugees in our community. It has met some of the challenges brought on by the stricter immigration enforcement head on, and it continues to counsel people on how to best protect their rights. But the nationwide enforcement is growing bigger, with immigration and customs agents showing up at events, people being detained during regular immigration check-in meetings, and states like Iowa getting more involved in helping the federal government increase its immigration laws. And joining us is the Citizenship Director of QCAIR, Carr. It's a very different time right now for refugees and migrants throughout America and in the Quad Cities. What are you hearing? I mean, is there a real fear right now?
There is lots and lots of real fear, most especially on the Iowa side as compared to the Illinois side. When the current administration took over, people knew that these things were going to happen, but they were very uncertain in how to handle them immediately. We all started to re-strategize. What if this administration changed? What should we put in place? So we started like pushing every button with law schools and law firms and local authority until we came up with, little issues and way forward. So we started to implement them little by little. But when you look at how Iowa operates and how Illinois operates, most migrant prefer to live on the Illinois side as compared to Iowa.
I was going to ask that too. I mean, do you see a lot of migrants and refugees actually now leaving Iowa to live in Illinois because they believe it's safer?
Yes. Yes.
Does that surprise you?
I am not surprised. The thing is, before these people left their country, I know these definitions are hard for people to understand. So, Liberia, where I came from, went to a civil war. And we have to keep explaining the difference between World War I, World War II, and all the different wars and what caused a civil war, how civil war is between people in their own country. So if a country goes to civil war and people flee and cross international border, they relocate to a new place for temporary time. If they are not needed in that area, the people who live in that area say, we don't want you in the country. Your presence may cause us something else. That's when you get, we call it resettle to another tier country. That's where organizations like War Relief plays a major role. When people leave what part of the world, like Ukraine today, Afghanistan today, Sudan, Gaza area, they come through either the Cali Relief Services, depending where they are, War Relief through Baltimore, Chicago, or the Quad City, and then when they get here, it's a different ball game. So, migrant are people who says something wrong is going on in Wisconsin, in California. It could be cartel in California. It could be the natural disaster of all the wildfire and rain, like pushing people. So you see the carnivals of vehicles or people walking and moving. When they get to one location from California up to maybe Nevada or somewhere, or another fire, something outbreak, they keep moving. Something just keep pushing them until when they get to Iowa or Illinois, they can settle and say, we are finally safe or we feel safe. And then the people tell you, we don't want you here, then they got to keep moving. So these migrants left their countries of origin with so many different definitions because they are not from one country. Some came to seek green pasture, others came because they are fleeing from something in their country. And so people or government and new policy like put everybody together like, you know what, everybody has to be deported. If you get deported to a place that you fled or because you spoke against a government or something that went wrong or right, and people put you, you know you're going back to hell. And those are orders. So people who settled in Illinois today find better chances of survival. Iowa, the police and the security network, they can arrest you as a driver having me with green card or temporary documents say you are not supposed to carry anybody with temporary document in your vehicle, and they can arrest both of you. So if I became citizen by naturalization, I can be stripped of my naturalization citizenship as well. So all of these fears. So we who are naturalized citizens and living peacefully are also at risk. And so when I am at risk and you are my friend, a pastor or neighbor, you also feel at risk.
Now, you came to America willingly because of what did you hear about America that made you think this was a place you wanted to come?
America.
And has that changed?
It has changed. It has changed. America first was built on immigration. And we know that many, many years ago, Christopher Columbus, the Native American story, the Pilgrim, and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And in fact, how our ancestors were brought in as slaves. And they said, oh, you know what? I am now an American. I'm going to bring my son or nephew. So when you see America, you see Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Dallas. That's the America. You see everybody is going to a factory, bringing home extra money to feed their family, and a growing society of harmony, where people could live together in peace, where a lot of changes have occurred. Modern civilization, going from subsistential farming to mechanized farming, industrial farming. You know, people like, wow, when I was here, where I grew up, people were just doing this, but now they're doing it at a, mass level. This is something we cannot learn. So people see America as a place where we can strive and grow and develop, that everybody can be able to get along. And America was looking like the biggest peacekeeper in the world. That when there is a war in Israel, America will say, stop, that's not right. And then everybody else will support the process. If there's a war going on in Sudan, and all the African nations will say we're going to stop, America say, yeah, we support you, we all going to stop, and everybody will stop. But now we see that we are at war with each other, with ourselves. It's not the definition of what America was. It's not anymore the status instead of Statute of Liberty, the status of liberty, freedom, free speech. It's not what we see anymore.
What are you telling the other people that might be coming to America? Are you telling them now, don't come?
People don't understand. Not everybody will understand that according to biblical principle, when the end time shall come, we will see so many signs of wonders, so many signs that some things will be happening that are unbelievable. Rain, fire. Do we Americans seize the actuality of the rain and fire raining on America? Or we only think it's natural disaster? Why do we have wildfire every day? Why do we have tons and tons of rain every day. It says something religious that God is telling America to listen to. Israel is our world, the greatest nation that has Jesus Christ's footprint. It's our war every day, unstable. So, people outside of the United States who wants to immigrate to America are like, if we go to America, will there be peace? Though we still see green pasture, but will there be peace? So a lot of people are fearing now to ever come to America like that.
Tell me about QCAIR, because you've been associated now with for 6 years with an organization that is helping migrants and immigrants every single day to get acclimated to America, get acclimated to the Quad Cities, because the culture here is much different than, as you pointed out, Los Angeles, New York, Dallas. What service do you think that you provide that's making a difference?
First of all, I want to say to our citizenry in the Quad City, thank you so much for being a welcoming area for immigrants and refugees. For over 19, 20 years that I live in this area, I never experienced any pushback from anybody. I have been so loved, my family, my kids. We grew up in a very great atmosphere. So even working or volunteering for QCAIR was one of my greatest good, because I know that when you move to a newer location where the language spoken is not your official language, where navigating the system is hard, makes people like us who work for nonprofit or humanitarian organization like World Relief, QCAIR, Tapestry Farm, and all of these groups makes it unique for us. We do help these people to show them the way. When you get here, all the steps that are needed to keep your life stable, the path to be on your right path of staying in this country. This is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and you have to walk all these paths. Mm-hmm. If you request of anything from somebody and they tell you to wait, you have to wait. When they tell you you will get it this time, you have to abide by those rules. So we give you the A to Z. When you follow the A to Z, you are free. And that's what we do, and that's why we teach people when they get here. That's what help people to integrate into the Quad City.
We're talking about Harmony Fest that's coming up as well in East Moline. And we also talked earlier to the East Moline school superintendent. And he's talking about there's 40 languages that's spoken in the school system. Harmony Fest is going to be representing so many different continents. Do you think the people in the Quad Cities are surprised at how many different nations are actually represented here already?
I will tell you that we may think that these people doesn't know, but people are not surprised. They know the presence of different nations in the area, because almost every nation in the area may have an English church, an English grocery store. Almost everybody, kids go to school, and that's how they kind of like determine the data of what is happening. Plus, everybody goes to hospital, clinics, and so all this information were gathered from this. So we all know who's in the area and how we can get to some of them, and that's how this whole system works.
Are you still proud to be in America? Are you still optimistic of where this country's headed?
I am always proud to be an American, and I'm always proud to help change the system. I'm always proud to fight to continue to bring peace to the world and bring peace to the Quad City, always.
Our thanks to Isaac Carr, the Citizenship Director for QCAIR, the Quad City Alliance for Immigrants and Refugees. A little earlier, you heard about the planned Harmony Fest being sponsored by QCAIR and the East Moline Main Street Association. It's being held on Sunday, August 17th. And joining us to talk about it is Main Street Association President Patricia Hansen. So Harmony Fest is coming up. It is a go. Tell me why it's, tell me why it's important to hold this festival.
With all the cultures in the Quad Cities, let alone just East Moline, the amount of languages they speak in our school systems is just amazing to me and so incredible. So we just want to make sure that we, with our events and with our outreach and with the Main Street partnerships, that we're reaching everyone, and everyone in the Quad Cities, everyone in East Moline feels welcome. So this is our second year.
And East Moline really is kind of a melting pot of a lot of different cultures. I mean, it's almost a minority-majority community. I mean, it is a lot of minorities live in East Moline.
There is, and I learn something new every day, whether it's from the community or from a business owner. Just having that, the beauty of the culture and the experiences and all of that is just so wonderful.
But as you know, there's been a number of festivals this past year that have been canceled because of fear of ICE agents being there, or just that it's a risk for minorities to be gathering in one location. And you know that, you've heard that. Is that a reason why Harmony Fest is more important to be held now than ever before?
We ran into the same thing with our Cinco de Mayo Taco Margarita Fest. We had several vendors, community members say, you know, should you have this, should you not? Again, with Harmony Fest. And we want the community to feel comfortable. If they are not comfortable coming this year, we understand. But canceling things, I think, makes the wrong people win at this time. So I think we just need to keep moving forward. It potentially is going to be a tiny bit smaller this year because we have had a few people, whether it's entertainers, whether it's vendors, that are just not 100% comfortable. I'm hoping 2026 that tensions ease and that people are much more comfortable and feel like rejoining us because we're going to be here for them.
Was there ever a thought, perhaps, that maybe we should cancel this because of these fears?
We discussed it very briefly. I think, you know, it is such a wide variety of people in our community. You look out across the crowd, it seems like a family reunion. It seems like a United Township High School reunion. You know, there's schoolmates that haven't seen each other for a while. So it's just, for the people that don't want to miss it, we didn't want to cancel.
And as you said, I mean, it really is a worldwide experience, because I know that you advertise that, you know, Harmony Fest, it represents Europe and South America, and you're naming all of the continents and all of the countries. It's not just one group of people.
No, it's not. My favorite part of the event is we parade 40 flags in from the very beginning. And I have to say that there were a lot of non-dry eyes last year when that happened. It's such a beautiful representation. And if you have the chance to even just come down at the very beginning, it starts at 1, that first little bit is so incredibly moving. I personally would hate to miss it. So again, why the decision to continue on? You know, we will get through this together and we will come out the other side.
1 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night. So
yes.
there's something for everyone. Tell me a little bit about, let's start with the food. Because when you think of different cultures, you definitely think of the food.
Right. We have, I think there's probably 10 food vendors this year. East Moline Main Street also is going through raise grant construction, so I am battling a little bit of that this year. So we didn't go with quite as big as we maybe could have with food vendors, but there's still something for everyone. Some amazing desserts, incredible food, the entertainment. We have dancers and performers, and Smooth Groove closes out the night from 5 to 8, which is a local band.
Exactly.
Gotta love them.
Yes.
For kids, we'll have a kids area, free face painter, balloon artists, magicians, all paid for by us. So for the families, it's not an inconvenience. Again, at this time, there's a lot of families struggling. So you could come down and not spend a lot of money or not spend anything. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy the day.
How important is it that it's a family event? Because I think in some ways that's really what you're trying to attract is bringing more families together.
Absolutely. You know, the families, and then for me, the young entrepreneurs. So East Moline Main Street, if you're a young entrepreneur and you would like to sell, whether it is, you know, the cool bracelets or whatever, you are always welcome to have a table for free. We want to, you know, help those young entrepreneurs get their feet on the ground, have them see what it's like. I have a few parents that come with the kids, and they're just really letting the kids take the forefront, which I think is really important.
Now, you head the Main Street Association for East Moline, and as you alluded to, there's construction going on. There's the whole linking of help me out, the Rust Belt.
The Rust Belt, and then to downtown.
I always forget one of the three.
Yep.
Short term, it's a pain.
Yep.
Long term, you got to be pretty excited.
Oh, so excited. So one of the biggest things for my organization, my board, myself, the volunteers that we've had for years, the small businesses downtown, is that there's going to be a gateway signage that now will say Main Street. Mm-hmm. So that's just, you know. It's,
that alone.
That alone. Just as kind of the legacy. We'll have the catenary lights across the street. More lighting, of course, makes people feel safer.
Sure.
If you light it up.
Well, and you already have that meeting ground for Runners Park, of course,
yes.
which wasn't around many years ago. So, I mean, you have that focal point in downtown,
yep.
and you could build from there, it seems.
Yeah, we use Runners Park kind of as the anchor and just go both directions off of that. So that kind of is one of the spots that we build from. But for 2026, we will be moving our events up and down, you know, so that the businesses on the east end of 15th Avenue will mm-hmm. have some events down there. The businesses on the other side of 7th Street, so from 6th to 7th, will have some events there. So we're going to keep things moving so that every business feels like we have something in their block and not just focusing only on the Runners Park area.
One last pitch. Harmony Fest coming up.
It is Sunday from 1 to 8. Near Runners Park, there will be, I think I have over 35 vendors, over 10 food vendors. It's going to be a great day, beautiful show, vibrant colors, beautiful culture, and your friends and neighbors, bring them all.
Our thanks to Patricia Hansen, president of the East Moline Main Street Association. America is turning 250 years old, and from now until next July 4th, we're featuring people in the cities who are making a difference in their community. It's their civic spark, what drives them to make our area better for all of us. And we asked that of Cindy Deal Yang, president and CEO of the Putnam Museum. What's your civic spark?
I got involved with museums because I like how much they work to connect themselves with the public, and especially at the Putnam Museum, we work with history and with science, which really talks about the innovation of the past and how that can help us learn about the innovation of the future. And I think that type of connection from the past to the future is so important to our communities to know about.
Our thanks to Cindy Deal Yang of the Putnam Museum for sharing her civic spark. On the air, on the radio, on the web, on your mobile device, and streaming on your computer. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.